had one or two comments over the last couple of days, and I think that one comment in particular might have kind of missed the point of one of the videos that I put on. So I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to answer another question that does seem to keep popping up quite often. And then after that, I'm going to talk to you about something that's going to be happening with the van right next door to us in just a couple of weeks' time. And I think it's definitely going to be worth filming. So one of the comments that we received was from Dan, and he said that if we can afford to buy a static caravan, then we're never in any danger of becoming homeless. And I think you might have missed the point, or maybe not watched the entire video. The point to that was, we had 2 weeks left to find somewhere to live. We'd waited for 6 for the council to find us housing, but they couldn't do that. It seems to be happening more and more in this country. There's such a shortage of housing. So with only 2 weeks left to go and an house full of furniture, we were bordering on being homeless. And the reason we was able to get this caravan and pay the site fees was because we cashed in a pension. And in answer to another lady's question, no, we didn't spend as old retirement on this van. We've got more than one pension. We had no choice in that matter. If we'd have not cashed the pension in, which we then had to borrow from a relative until this pension cleared, then we definitely would have been in a position where we were homeless. Being right here is the choice that we had to take. So that pension was cashed in, we bought this, we paid the site fees, and that's tiding us over for now. I never said I was going to live in this van forever. It doesn't work like that either. You get a contract. So at least for now, that's helped us out. And since then, we've had a few more developments, which I've already spoke about on previous videos. And another comment that I got was from Stephen Webster. And he says, can you just tell us where the site is so we can come and have a look round to see if there's any pictures available so he can have a caravan here as well. But unfortunately, this is also something else that I've mentioned before. I'm not going to tell people exactly what site I'm on, and that's for his own security. I don't think it's a good idea for anybody to do that on internet. It's the exact same if you live in a house. It's not a good idea to put posts onto places like Facebook just telling people that you're off abroad for a couple of weeks, because then they know your house is empty. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the same situation here. We pop off every now and again, and I don't want to be going away for a week or so and then worrying about this caravan because there's nobody in it. So that's the only reason I don't disclose the name of the site itself, and unfortunately I never will do. But that takes me to another point, and that is there's a caravan actually being moved off this site, and it's the one right next to us. And I would assume that the first thing that you're going to think is, why? It's not because anything's wrong. It's not because they've been asked to take the caravan off. It's because they found somewhere cheaper. We pay £3,000 a year for site fees on here. And as I said before, the water's free, you buy gas bottles, and the electric, as you might have seen in a previous video, is quite reasonable. And I thought 3,000 was quite reasonable. It really helped us out when we was definitely going to be homeless quite soon. But it's a case of shopping around like you would for anything else that you wanted. So you just need to do a little bit of research basically. Just ring around various places, and as I've said many times before, don't ring up any of these big commercial sites. They're the ones that you're going to find yourselves having problems with. This is not a big commercial site. It's in Lincolnshire, which is all I'm willing to disclose, but it's not a huge site, and that's what you need to research. But another option is what the guy next door has taken. He's spoken to a farmer who's got some land, and the farmer has got a part of that land that's set up ready for a static caravan to go on. So it's got an electrical hookup, it's got waste and everything all sorted out. And I would assume that he's a friend of the farmer as well. But this is private land, so you're allowed to do that. So if you can find somebody that's got private land, you're going to get a much better deal. So once he gets this moved in the next couple of weeks and put on this new plot, he's only going to be paying £1,000 a year. Obviously, plus his electric and whatever gas he uses. But going from 3,000 down to 1,000 is a massive saving. And apparently it's not too far away. And there is quite a few little sites around this area. And I'm sure if you do a quick search, you'll be able to find them, ring them, and find out how much they charge and all the legalities behind it. If you pick a residential one, then you can live in there all year long with no problem. But obviously then you've got to pay council tax and everything else that comes along with it, just like you would in an house. But this is non-residential, which is the reason why we have to disappear for a few weeks out of here. And we're all right, which is why we got that little apartment in first place. But that is something we couldn't get straight away. And that's why I think that's going to be interesting to see. It's right next to us. And I would think it's quite a job to move a static caravan. It's also got a veranda around it, skirting round bottom, so everything is going to have to be stripped down. And then we've got to get it in between the vans onto that track just outside our van and take it to its new location. I think that is going to be definitely worth filming because people buy vans from places like Facebook. And I'm sure people would be interested in seeing that process, or at least I'll find that very interesting. There's not a lot of room on here to get lorries and things up and down. So I'm just assuming that they're going to strip it down as much as they can, just leave the bare static van and then maybe winch it onto the back of a lorry, strap it down and away they go. But in 2 weeks' time, I am definitely going to be filming that because I've had a word with him and he says he's perfectly happy for me to do that. And for once in quite a while, we've had a pretty miserable day. It was raining when I got up and it's just stopped and the sun's come out now. But pretty much all day, it's done nothing but rain. So I spent the entire day in that shed rearranging all tools, putting things in order. So every time I want something, I know exactly where it is. Because I'm the sort of person that likes to keep busy. I can't just sit in a van all day, it drives me mad. But that is a job that I wasn't expecting to be doing this weekend, but it's also a job well done. It looks a lot better already. But I just wanted to make a quick video today just to answer that question from Dan. It wasn't something that we planned on doing, and if we hadn't have cashed that pension in, we definitely would have been on streets. It were either that or pay for travel lodges, and no matter what amount of money you've got, if you start shelling out for hotels and travel lodges, what bit you did cash in on a pension will soon go. We're now in a position where we're saving a little bit of money and we've got past that threat that originally put us here. But while at the same time, since we got here, we've been okay. We've both got jobs. We feel settled. We're a lot calmer than we were a couple of months ago, that's for sure. So now we just move on. We move out when we have to, we move back when we can. And I think that in a couple of weeks' time, once this van moves, it's really going to be worth looking at. But I'm also going to find out how much it costs us to have that job done. If you're moving from a location that's costing you £3,000 to a new location that's only costing you £1,000, then if my assumption's correct, I think people tend to move these vans for somewhere around £1,000. And that's completely all in, set up, and you're ready to move straight into it. So even at that, it's only going to cost him £2,000 to get resited. So it's already saved £1,000 in that first year, and then every year after is going to be saving £2,000. So it's a good move for him, and if he can find something like that, then I'm sure that if people do research, they'll find sites like this where it's perfectly affordable to buy a cheap van from Marketplace, have it transported to the site that you chose, and then you're all set up. Anyway, if you want to see more videos about caravan life in UK, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you next update. You all take care.